Good morning. In this lecture, I would like to discuss about sequences and their limits. First, we recall the definition of set and functions, and then we will discuss about sequences. First, a set. The collection of well-defined objects is called set. Collection of well-defined objects is called set. Sets are denoted by capital A, capital B, capital C, so on. Elements are denoted as A, B, C. Well-defined objects are called here elements. These elements we denote as small a, small b, small c, and we denote the sets by capital A, capital B, capital C. There are two types of sets are there. Finite set. A set A is said to be finite if it has finite number of elements. For example, A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the finite elements. So this set is finite set. Infinite set. A set A is said to be infinite set if it is not finite set. Otherwise, the number of elements is not finite, then it is called infinite. For example, natural number set n is equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on. In this set, there are infinite elements. So this set is called infinite set. The same way, whole number set w is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. In similar way, integer set, rational number set, irrational number set, real number set, these are all infinite sets. Functions. Let a comma b are any two non-empty sets. Then a relation from a to b is said to be function if every element of a is associated with unique element of b. Function means a particular relation which states that every element of A is associated to unique element of B. That means we associate every element in A with a unique element in B. So this is called a function. See here, A is a set 1, 2, 3, B is a set ABC. So 1, 2, 3, ABC are two sets. We associate elements of A as 1 to A. The image of 1 is A, 2 associate to C, 3 associate to B. So every element of A is associated to each element of B. So this is a function. Here A is called domain and B is called codomain. Now a 1-1 function. A function A to B, f A to B is said to be 1-1 function if unique element of A is associated with unique element of B. Otherwise, distinct elements of A associate to distinct elements of B. Or every element of A has unique image, then we say that f A to B is a 1-1 function. Onto function. F A to B is said to be onto if range is equal to codomain. If here range is the set of all images of elements of A is called range. So if range is equal to codomain, then we say that is onto function. Otherwise, we define like this. If every element of B has at least one preimage in A, then that function is called onto function. Before that, here f is a function. We associate element of A, 1 is associated to A. So we can write this as f of 1 is equal to A. F of 1 is equal to A. Here A is called image of 1. 1 is called preimage of A. If the set of images is called range. Range is always subset to codomain. If range is equal to codomain, then it is onto function. Otherwise, every element of B has at least one preimage in A, then that is called onto function. A function which is 1, 1 and onto, that is called bijective function. Bijective function is a function which is 1, 1 and onto, then it is called bijective function. Now coming to sequence. A function whose domain is natural numbers set and range is subset of real numbers is called a real sequence. Particularly, f is a function from n to r. So domain is natural number set, range is subset of r, then this is called real sequence. Sequence is nothing but a function defined on natural number set is called a sequence. Okay, right. And we denote Sn, S1, S2, S3, so on Sn. We denote the function sequence Sn as like this, Sn, or in a similar way Sn. So here Sn is equal to 1 by n. N belongs to capital N. The elements of n, the domain of Sn is nothing but function. Domain of Sn is capital N. And we define a function Fn, that is nothing but Sn. Sn is equal to 1 by n. Now the elements of its range is 1. S1 is equal to 1, S2 is equal to 1 by 2, and S3 is equal to 1 by 3, so on. Okay. Therefore, the function sequence Sn is equal to 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3, and so on, 1 by n, and so on. And Sn is equal to minus 1 power n. So n belongs to n. The sequence, we can write the sequence as Sn is equal to, if you write n values 1, 2, 3, and so on, we get minus 1, 1, minus 1, 1, so on, minus. So Sn is equal to set minus 1, 1. The same way Sn is equal to minus 1 power n into n. We define a sequence, a function by Sn is equal to minus 1 power n. We get the sequence Sn is equal to minus 1, 2, minus 3, 4. Here S1 is first term, S2 is second term, S3 is second term, S3 is third term, and S4 so on. Sn is nth term. So here first term is, if you write n is equal to 1, we get first term. Sn is equal to minus 1. Sn is equal to S2 is equal to 2. If you write n is equal to, we will get S2, second term. So on, Sn is equal to minus 1 power n and n. This is. Observe here, in this sequence, the range of this sequence is minus 1 and 1. It is finite. The range of this sequence is, it has infinite elements. So it is infinite set. And Sn is equal to 2 for all n belongs to n. So we get, if n is equal to, if you write n is equal to 1, S1 is equal to 2, S2 is equal to 2. We get only one element, that is 2. So constant function. Sn is said to be constant sequence, then Sn is equal to k for all n, then Sn is said to be constant sequence. Here observe, Sn is equal to some set 2 such that n belongs to n. For every n, Sn is equal to 2 only. If you write n is equal to 1, we get S1 is equal to 2. If you write n is equal to 2, we get S2 equal to 2. For every natural number, we get Sn is equal to 2. So it's a constant sequence. And this is finite sequence, this infinite sequence. Now, upper bound. If Sn is a sequence U belongs to R, is said to be upper bound. If Sn subset are less than or equal to U for all n, then the sequence Sn is said to be bounded above sequence. Upper bound means, in a sequence Sn, every element should be less than U. U is a real number. Then U is called upper bound of that sequence. And that sequence is called bounded above. Bounded above. Here Sn is equal to 1 by n, n belongs to n. Write sequence Sn is equal to, what we get? If you write n is equal to 1, we get 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4 and so on. 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3. This is a decreasing sequence, right? 1 is a maximum value. And 1 by 2, 1 by 3 are decreasing. At least element we get 0. So maximum value is 1. Minimum value is 0. If n increases, 1 by n decreases. If n tends to infinity, 1 by n tends to 0. So minimum value is 0, maximum value 1. So 1 is upper bound for this sequence. Not only one upper bound, 2 is also greater than for all elements of Sn. So 2 is also upper bound. 2, 3, 4, 3.5, 2.5, every number which is greater than 1 is also upper bound. There are infinite number of upper bounds for this sequence. And so this sequence is bounded above. Okay. Next, least upper bound or supremum. Least upper bound is nothing but minimum element of actual. See first definition. Let Sn be a sequence and U is the upper bound of the sequence. Any real number less than U is not upper bound for the sequence of Sn. Then U is called least upper bound of the sequence. There are infinite number of upper bounds are there. So among these upper bounds, minimum value is called supremum or least upper bound. Least number of upper bounds is called supremum. Here, see, observe this function sequence Sn is equal to 1 by n. Here 1 is upper bound. Greater than 1, 2 is upper bound, 3 is upper bound, 4 is upper bound, and a number which is greater than 1 is upper bound. Among these upper bounds, 1 is the least upper bound. So 1 is called supremum of the sequence Sn is equal to 1 by n. See, Sn is equal to 1 by n here. 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4 and so on. So supremum of Sn is equal to 1. A number less than 1 is not upper bound for the sequence Sn. If you take, for example, 0.75 is upper bound, then there is element 1 which is greater than 0.75. So 0.75 is not upper bound. So that only least upper bound is 1. So that 1 is a supremum of Sn. Sn is equal to, a sequence Sn is equal to -1, -2, -3 and so on. This is also decreasing sequence, -1, -2, -3. So all the elements are less than -1. So supremum of this sequence is -1. Sn is equal to n plus 1 by n. Observe this sequence. Sn is equal to n plus 1 by n. If n is equal to 1, what we get? 1 plus 1 by 2. So 1 plus 1 by 1. N is equal to 1. If you write n is equal to 1, we get 1 plus 1 by 1, that is 2 by 1, 2. 3 by 2, 4 by 3. Observe, 3 by 2 is 1.5. 4 by 3 is 1.33. So on. This is decreasing sequence, right? So maximum value is 2. Supremum is 2. Here Sn is equal to x belongs to R, where x lies between 0 and 1. 0 less than or equal to 0 less than or equal to x less than 1. All the numbers which is greater than 0 strictly less than 1. So all the elements of Sn should be less than 1. So 1 is supremum and 1 is upper bound mainly. The least upper bound is 1. So supremum is 1. Sn is equal to x belongs to R such that 0 less than or equal to x square less than 4. So all the elements x such that x square less than 4. X less than 4 means x less than 2. So the elements of Sn should be less than 2. So 2 is upper bound, particularly 2 is least upper bound. So the supremum is 2. The same way, lower bound. If Sn is a sequence and L is the lower bound, is said to be lower bound if L less than or equal to Sn for all n. So all the elements of Sn greater than or equal to L. So that L is called lower bound and the sequence is called bounded below. Here, observe here, Sn is equal to sequence 1, 2, 3 and so on. So it's increasing sequence. The least value is 1 and greatest value is we can't define, but because it has infinite number of elements. So all the elements of Sn are greater than 1. So 1 is less than Sn for all n. So 1 is lower bound. So this is sequence is bounded below. Not only one lower bound, 0. If you take 0, all the elements of Sn are greater than 0. So 0 is also called lower bound. -1, -2, all these are lower bounds. We have infinite number of lower bounds are there. Greatest lower bound or infimum. If Sn be the sequence and L is the lower bound of sequence and any real number greater than L is not a lower bound of the sequence Sn, then L is called greatest lower bound of the sequence. Observe this sequence. Sn is equal to 1, 2, 3. Here 1 is lower bound. 0 is also lower bound. -1 is also lower bound. These are all lower bounds are less than 1. If any number greater than L is not lower bound, then L is called infimum. Nothing but greatest lower bound is called infimum. Here 1, 0, -1, -2 all are lower bounds. Among these lower bounds, 1 is greatest number. So greatest lower bound is called infimum. Here 1 is infimum. So take Sn is equal to n plus 1, n belongs to n. First write the sequence. If you take n is equal to 1, we get S1 is equal to 2, n equal to 2, then S2 is equal to 3. So if the right sequence, we get Sn is equal to 2, 3, 4 and so on. So this is increasing sequence. The least value is 2. All the elements of Sn greater than 2. So 2 is lower bound. 1 is also lower bound because every element of Sn is greater than 1. 0 is a lower bound. Among these lower bounds, 2 is a greatest number. So this is greatest lower bound. So infimum of Sn is 2. Here n by Sn is equal to n by n plus 1 such that n belongs to n. Sn is equal to 1 by 2, 2 by 3, 3 by 4. So 1 by 2 is 0.5, 2 by 3 is 0.6, 3 by 4 is 0.75. This is increasing sequence so that 1 by 2 is a minimum value, least value. All the values, all the elements of Sn is greater than 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 is a lower bound. Particularly 1 by 2 is a infimum. Sn is equal to x belongs to R such that 0 less than or equal to x less than 1. So here 0 is the least upper bound so that 0 is a infimum. Bounded sequence. If the sequence Sn is both bounded below and bounded above, then it is said to be bounded sequence. A sequence has upper bound as well as lower bound, then it is called bounded sequence. Okay. Another way, there exists u comma L belongs to R such that L less than or equal to Sn less than or equal to u. Here u is a upper bound, L is a lower bound. There exists lower bound or upper bound for the sequence. Then that such sequence is called bounded sequence. Otherwise, if there exists k belongs to R such that mod Sn less than or equal to k, then Sn is said to be bounded. So there exists a number k, real number k, such that mod Sn is less than or equal to k, then Sn is said to be bounded. We can write this as mod Sn is less than or equal to k, then minus k less than or equal to Sn less than or equal to k. Here k is upper bound, minus k is lower bound. Therefore, Sn is bounded sequence. See example. Sn is equal to n plus 1 by n. Here 2, 3 by 2, 4 by 3 and so on. 3 by 2 is 1.5. 4 by 3 is 1.33 and so on. As n increases, it tends to 1, because as n tends to infinity, we write n plus 1 by n as 1 plus 1 by n. As n increases, 1 by n decreases, right? As n tends to infinity, 1 by n tends to 1 by infinity, that is 0. So 1 plus 1 by n is 1 plus 1 by n is 1. So minimum value is 1, maximum value is 2. That is nothing but upper bound is 2, lower bound is 1. So the sequence is bounded. See here, write the few terms of the following sequence. An is equal to n by 3 power n. Here nth term is given. Write some terms, first term, second term, third terms, like that. If write n is equal to 1, we get first term. N is equal to 2, we get second term. So a1 is equal to, write n is equal to 1. So 1 by 3 power 1. So 1 by 3. A2 is equal to 2 by 3 square, that is 2 by 9. A3 is equal to 3 by 3 cube, that is 1 by 9, and so on. Right. Find whether the sequence generated by following relation are same or not. X1 is equal to 2, xn plus 1 is equal to xn plus 2, and y1 is equal to 2, yn plus 1 is equal to yn plus 1 is equal to y1 plus yn. Okay. Is this same or not? This sequence are same or not? First write n is equal to 1. What we get? X1 is equal to x2 is equal to x1 plus 2, that is 4. y2 is equal to, y2 is also 4. n is equal to 2, if x3 is equal to 6, y3 is equal to 6, n is equal to 3, x4 is equal to 8, and here y4 is equal to 8. So both are same sequence. They indicated both same sequences. Right. For each sequence, set of below, find whether it is bounded above or bounded below. Hence, find the supremum and infimum exist. See, Sn is equal to 0, 1. Supremum of Sn is here. All the elements of Sn lies between 0 and 1. So, all the elements of Sn is greater than 0 and less than 1. So, 1 is upper bound, for a particular upper bound. 0 is lower bound. So, there is no another number which is greater than 0 is not lower bound. So, that 0 is infimum. There is no another number which is less than 1 is upper bound. So, 1 is supremum. So, 0 is supremum. 0 is infimum. 1 is supremum. Okay. Take Sn is equal to 2, 7. 2, 7. Only 2 elements are there. First one, lowest number is 2. Highest number is 7. So, supremum is 7. Infimum is 2. See, Sn is equal to 1 plus minus 1 power n. N belongs to n. So, Sn is equal to 0, 2. If you write the sequence, terms of sequence, we get, if write n is equal to 1 first, what we get? S1 is equal to 1 plus minus 1 power 1, that is 1 minus 1, we get 0. If n is equal to 2, S2 is equal to 1 plus minus 1 power 2, that is 1 plus 1, 2. If you write n is equal to odd number, write S1, S3, S5 is 0. And if you write n is equal to even number, we get 1 plus 1, 2. So all the terms of the sequence is 0, 2. So there are only 2 elements are there. 0 is a lower bound, 2 is upper bound particularly. So there is another number which is less than 2 is not upper bound. So there is no another number which is greater than 0 is not lower bound. So 0 is infimum, 2 is a supremum. Sn is equal to minus 1 power n minus 1 n square, such that n belongs to z plus. See, observe, first write the sequence, elements of sequence, particular terms of sequence. Sn is equal to 1. If write n is equal to 1, we get 1. If write n is equal to 2, we get minus 1 into 2 square, that is minus 4. If you write 3, 9, minus 16 and so on. Observe here, 1, minus 4, 9, 16. So 1 is greater than minus 4. Minus 4 is less than 9. It is neither increasing nor decreasing sequence. So if you write n is equal to 5, what we get? 25. N is equal to 6, minus 36. So negative terms are negative and positive terms are there. So we can't guess the maximum number and also the minimum number, upper bound and lower bound. There is no upper bound, there is no lower bound. Okay. So it is not bounded sequence. So write 1 minus 1 by 3 power n. 1 minus 1 by 3 power n. Write 2 by 3, write n is equal to 1. We get terms of sequence 2 by 3, 8 by 9, 26 by 7 and so on. 2 by 3 is the least number. So infimum is 2 by 3. To find upper bound, take n is equal to infinity. N tends to infinity. Then find the limit. Then we get 1. So 1 is supremum. It has bounded sequence. So Sn is equal to minus n by n plus 1. These are all negative terms. So minus 1 by 2, minus 2 by 3, minus 3 by 4. So supremum is minus 1 by 2, that is 0.5, minus 0.5. Next we get term minus 0.6, next term minus 0.75. This is decreasing sequence. Supremum is minus 1 by 2. Why? Because this is the maximum value is minus 1 by 2. Infimum is as n tends to infinity, what we get? We get limit n tends to infinity minus n by n plus 1. So that is minus 1. So minus all the elements of Sn are in between minus 1 to 0, minus 0.5. So 0 minus 0.5 is upper bound, minus 1 is a lower bound. Therefore, it is bounded sequence. So important theorem here, limit convergent of the sequence. When we say the sequence is convergent, when we say the sequence is divergent. See definitions. Let Sn be the sequence for a given epsilon greater than 0. There exists m belongs to n such that Sn mod Sn minus s less than epsilon for all n greater or equal to m. Then the sequence Sn is said to be convergent to S. Here for given epsilon greater than 0, there exists a natural number m such that mod Sn less than s less than epsilon for all n greater or equal to m. After certain terms, Sn is equal to S. Sn is approximately equal to S. Then we can say that Sn is converges to S. Nothing but the limit of Sn is equal to S. Then we can say that the sequence is convergent. Okay. It is denoted by limit n tends to infinity, Sn is equal to S. Sn is equal to 1 by n. See example. Sn is equal to 1 by n. Is it convergent or not? If the sequence, given sequence, the limit is exist, then it is convergent. The limit is does not exist, then it is not convergent. We say that it is divergent. So Sn is equal to 1 by n. Prove that limit Sn in tends to 1 by n is equal to 0. So consider, take S is equal to 0. And given epsilon greater than 0, mod Sn minus s less than epsilon, that is mod Sn minus 0 less than epsilon. Nothing but Sn less than epsilon. So here, if there exists a number m, by definition, there exists a number m such that mod Sn minus n is less than epsilon, then we can say that it is convergent. If the number does not exist, then it is not convergent. So given sequence is 1 by n. So 1 by n less than epsilon. 1 by n is less than 1 by epsilon less than n. So n greater than 1 by epsilon. If you take m is equal to 1 by epsilon, then mod Sn minus s less than epsilon. So Sn is converges to S. Particularly S is here 0. Sn is equal to 1 by n square. Then limit n tends to 1 by n square is equal to 0. Take Sn is equal to 1 by n square. By definition, for every epsilon greater than 0, there exists a natural number m such that mod Sn minus s less than epsilon So first consider mod Sn minus S less than epsilon. Find m if exist. If m does not exist, then it is not convergent. So consider mod Sn minus S less than epsilon. Take S is equal to 0. Mod n square minus 0 less than epsilon. 1 by n square is less than epsilon. So n square 1 by epsilon less than n square. N is greater than 1 by epsilon. N is greater than 1 by root epsilon. Since epsilon is positive, so root epsilon is exist. So 1 by epsilon is also exist. So there exists a number, if you take m is equal to 1 by root epsilon, then there exists a number m is equal to 1 by root epsilon such that mod Sn minus 0 less than epsilon. Therefore, limit n 1 by n square is convergent to 0. So limit 1 by n square is equal to 0. The same way, Sn is equal to 1 by root n for all n belongs to n. Limit n tends to infinity 1 by root n is equal to 0. Observe this one more example. Sn is equal to n plus 1 by n. N plus 1 by n is equal to n plus 1 plus n plus 1 by n minus 1 is less than epsilon. So here 1 by n is less than epsilon, 1 by epsilon is less than m, n greater than 1 by epsilon. So there exists n greater than m where m is equal to 1 by epsilon, right? So for every given epsilon, there exists m which is equal to 1 by epsilon such that mod Sn minus 1 is less than epsilon, so that the given sequence Sn is converges to 1. Consider here Sn is equal to n square plus 1 by 2n square plus 3. Mod Sn minus S less than epsilon. So take given epsilon greater than 0 and Sn is equal to mod Sn minus S less than epsilon. I take S is equal to 1 by 2. So n square plus 1 by 2n square plus 3 minus 1 by 2 is less than epsilon. Simplify this. We get 1 by 4n square plus 6. 1 by 4n square plus 6 less than epsilon. So 1 by 4n square particularly 4n square is greater than 4n square plus 6. So 1 by 4n square is 4n square is less than 4n square plus 6. Okay. 1 by 4n square is greater than 1 by 4n square plus 6. So 1 by 4n square is less than 1 by 4n square plus 6 less than 1 by 4n square. Okay. Which is less than epsilon. Here, write like this. 1 by 4n square is less than 1 by 4n square plus 6. 1 by 4n square plus 6 is less than 1 by 4n square, which is less than epsilon. So 1 by n square less than epsilon, 1 by n square less than 1 by epsilon is less than n square is greater or equal to 1 by epsilon, n is greater 1 by root epsilon. So therefore there exists, for every epsilon greater than 0, there exists m such that mod Sn minus S less than epsilon. Therefore limit n tends to infinity n square plus 1 by 2n plus 2n square plus 3 is equal to 1 by 2. So the sequence is converges to 1 by 2. Sn is equal to 5n cube plus 2n by n cube minus 6. So mod Sn minus S less than epsilon by definition. Consider this. 5n cube plus 2n plus n minus n cube minus 6. I take S is equal to 5 minus 5 less than epsilon. Simplify this. We get 2n plus 30 by n cube minus 6 less than epsilon. 2n plus 30 is less than 32n. N cube minus 6 is less than n cube by 2 if n is greater than 2. So 2n plus 30 is by n cube minus 6 less than epsilon. Therefore 32n by n by 2 less than epsilon. So 6 by n square is less than epsilon. 64 by n square is less than epsilon. N square is greater than 64 by epsilon. N is greater than 8 by root epsilon. So for every epsilon greater than 0, there exists m is equal to 8 by epsilon root epsilon such that mod Sn minus less than epsilon, so that limit n to infinity 5n cube plus 2n by n square minus 6 is equal to 5. Therefore, the given sequence converges to 5. So Sn is equal to root n plus 1 minus root n. I write Sn is equal to root n plus 1 minus root n by, I multiply and divide by root n plus 1 plus 1. So I get Sn is equal to 1 by root n plus 1 plus root n. By definition, I consider mod Sn minus s is less than epsilon. And I take s is equal to 0. 1 by root n plus 1 plus root n minus 1 is less than epsilon. So 1 by root n plus 1 plus root n is less than epsilon. 1 by root n plus 1 plus root n is less than 1 by root n plus 1 by root n, which is less than epsilon. 1 by 2 root n is less than 1 by root n less than epsilon. So 1 by epsilon is less than root n is greater than 1 by n square. So n is greater than 1 by root n square, 1 by epsilon square. So m is equal to 1 by epsilon square, which is greater than n. Sorry. Therefore, for epsilon greater than 0, there exists m which is equal to 1 by epsilon square such that mod Sn minus s less than epsilon for all n greater or equal to m. Therefore, the given sequence is convergent.